I'd rather have someone poop all over me or have my kid poop on an airplane or have my kid pee on my head or poop my pants than be covered in dead whale. I can say that definitively.
It's a really remarkable observation.
When I was 13, my family took a cruise, and at one of the ports, my parents thought it would be a good idea to take the bus to one of the further less populated beaches to spend the day. So far, so good.
Okay.
Lo and behold, it was a nude beach. Now it's getting really good.
She was 13?
Mm-hmm.
Oh dear,
it was my first time,
jail by now, aren't they?
First time seeing a man naked. That can be startling. Because it's also like you've got an extremity we don't know about. You know what? Can I pause this story for 1 second? We were on a 4th of July trip with another family, and all of us have girls except one of our friends has a boy. And his name is Ace, and Ace likes to be nude, and he's 3.5.
My kids do too.
Of course, everyone. And everyone else is a girl, and his mom said, Ace, okay, it's 5 o'clock. Can you just at least put some underwear on? And he goes, why? No, why? And she goes, well, just, I don't know, because, you know, everyone else is a girl, and just put some underwear on. And he goes, oh, because I have a penis and they just have butts? My parents didn't want to waste the day trying to find a different beach, efficient. They told my brothers and I to look at the ocean only. Of course, being 13 years old and curious, I couldn't help but look at the old man walking along the beach. I asked my parents why the men were wearing their wedding rings around their penises. That was the start of their discussion of rings with my brother and I. I will never forget that day and that discussion.
Oh, Lord.
Well, or it's just a way to express yourself. I mean, I'm wearing rings.
Do people
in
wear
here.
rings at nude beaches?
If you're going to go to a nude beach, why couldn't you wear a piece of jewelry around your ding dong?
My brother had just turned 1 when we went to Disney World for the first time, and I was 10. I was sitting on the plane beside my mom, and my brother started screaming. I thought it was because his ears were popping, but it turned out he had the worst diarrhea ever. Ooh. It was everywhere. Uh-oh. On the seat, on my mom, on my brother.
Yeah.
The flight attendant brought us club soda to, quote unquote, fix the problem, and a garbage bag and paper towels. They wouldn't let my mom get up because the seatbelt light wasn't off yet. She made holes in the garbage bag and tied it at his waist, sat him on her lap, and waited.
Diarrhea is rough in general.
This poor kid, though, I
on a
mean,
plane.
it must have smelled terrible.
It's the other passengers that I think really got
Probably took the
end of the deal, pun intended. My husband and I were on our honeymoon. I was on medication that made stuff happen a lot faster than you'd hope. We were 2 blocks from our rental flat when I told my husband that I had to go, capital now. We walked home on icy sidewalks as quickly as my butt allowed. As soon as we unlocked the front door, I felt it. I did everything I could to clench, but it came forth like an explosion of hot lava. I crunched down saying, it's happening, like I was in Bridesmaids. We got up and I finished in the bathroom as my amazing husband cleaned up my pants with his hands. I definitely wasn't how we expected our honeymoon to go, but you can't deny that that's love. That's a beautiful story. That's not a horror story.
I went on a cruise with my grandma. She tried to scatter my great-grandpa's ashes off the back of the boat. I ended up rinsing my grandpa off about 4 levels of the ship with a cup of water.
Oh.
When my great-grandma died and we wanted to scatter her ashes in the same way, my grandma hollowed out bread rolls, put the ashes inside to prevent a repeat of events. Okay.
Is your grandmother MacGyver?
Right.
That's genius! My family and I were on a vacation in Egypt. I felt sick all day, so as soon as we got to the tombs, I ran into the bathroom, bypassing the lady who was handing out the toilet paper. I rushed into the stall as my ass exploded on the toilet. I kept yelling for my sister to get me toilet paper, but apparently you have to pay for each square in public restrooms there. She ended up spending $4 on toilet paper. 2 hours later, after we finished our tour and walked by the lobby, I saw a closed for maintenance sign on the toilet I used. My ass literally broke an Egyptian national monument. That'll teach you to put some, tissue in your pocket.
One 4th of July weekend, we got stuck in standstill traffic, and my youngest brother, who was 6 at the time, kept complaining that he had to pee. Here we go again.
Here we go.
We couldn't pull over, so my dad gave him a Gatorade bottle to pee into. My brother started peeing in the bottle just as the traffic started moving a little bit. The sudden movement of the car jolted my brother from where he was standing. It was a minivan, and he dropped the bottle, but didn't stop peeing. He literally peed all over the side of my dad's head and the steering wheel.
My mom's side of the family consists of about 20 Irish people, and we often hire out hostels to ourselves for the Christmas holidays. One year we stayed by the seaside, and my uncle overheard in the local pub that a dead whale had washed up on the beach and that someone was going to blow it up and get rid of it. Obviously, we wanted to see the spectacle. When we finally arrived, there were bits of dead whale everywhere with the worst rotting smell I have experienced to this day. My mom decided to kick a piece of whale blubber that was lying around, which exploded and splattered all over me. I was 11 years old, covered head to toe in dead whale. That's rough.
That is rough.
That would be a hard one for me. I'd rather have someone poop all over me, or have my kid poop on an airplane, or have my kid pee on my head, or poop my pants, than be covered in dead whale. I can say that definitively.
It's a really remarkable observation. My family and I were vacationing in the Caribbean, and my sister ended up stepping on sharp coral.
Ouch.
Well, this can be a difficulty. To make it worse, there were no hospitals in the area, so 2 fishermen cut it out of her foot while my parents held her, screaming. On our way to the car, my dad realized he locked the keys in the car. We ended up having one of the locals break into the car. On the way back to the hotel, a Category 2 hurricane hit and demolished the island. We got shelter in a coffee shop, but not before I was hit with a flying sign. Needless to say, we have not been back to the Caribbean.
We were able to film this movie, and there were 2 times in the hallway where people just were like, "I'm out," and we called 911 and got them ambulances. Yeah, I'm gonna write that down and send it into BuzzFeed.